Long ago, in a peaceful countryside, a boy named Jack lived with his mother in a small, humble cottage. Their home was simple, with a thatched roof and patched-up walls, surrounded by overgrown grass and a wooden fence. Life was not easy for Jack and his mother as they struggled to make ends meet. Their only possession of value was a skinny cow named Daisy, who no longer gave milk. Jack's mother often worked tirelessly, but no matter how hard she tried, they barely had enough to eat. One sunny morning, Jack and his mother stood outside their cottage, gazing at Daisy. With a heavy heart, his mother said, "Jack, it's time. Take Daisy to the market and sell her. Use the money to buy us some food." Jack nodded, understanding the weight of her words. He gently took the cow's leash, knowing that this would be a journey that would change their lives forever. On his way to the market, Jack walked slowly, leading Daisy along a dirt path surrounded by lush fields. Suddenly, an old man appeared on the road. He was dressed in a patched green cloak, and his long white beard sparkled in the sunlight. The man had an air of mystery about him and a twinkle in his eye. "What a fine cow you have there, young man," the old man said with a kind smile. Jack hesitated before replying, "I'm taking her to the market to sell." The old man chuckled and said, "Why go to the market when I can offer you something much more valuable? Look at these magical beans." He opened his hand to reveal glowing beans that shimmered with an otherworldly light. Jack's curiosity was piqued. "Magical beans? What do they do?" "Plant them, and they will grow into something extraordinary," the old man promised. Jack, filled with wonder, agreed to the trade. He handed over Daisy and carefully placed the beans in his satchel. As he walked home, he couldn't help but feel excited about the possibilities. Jack rushed home, eager to share the news with his mother. As he entered the cottage, he called out, "Mother, I've returned." His mother stepped into the room and asked, "Where's the money?" Jack opened his satchel and revealed the glowing beans. "Look, they're magical beans. The man said they'll bring us wonders." His mother's expression turned from confusion to anger. "Magical beans? You traded our only cow for these?" she exclaimed. Her voice was filled with frustration and disbelief. Without another word, she grabbed the beans and threw them out of the window. Jack watched helplessly as the beans scattered in the garden. "But Mother, he said they're magical," Jack pleaded. His mother shook her head. "Now we have nothing, Jack. No cow, no money, and no food." Jack climbed up to his small bed, his heart heavy with regret. As he stared out of the window at the twinkling stars, he whispered, "I hope the old man was right." The next morning, Jack woke to find his room filled with a soft green glow. Curious, he ran outside and gasped. Where his mother had thrown the beans, a massive beanstalk now towered into the sky. Its thick green vines glistened with dew, and its leaves shimmered as if touched by magic. "Mother, come quick!" Jack shouted. His mother stepped outside and stared in astonishment. What is this?" she whispered. "The beans! They really are magical!" Jack exclaimed. Without hesitation, Jack grabbed his satchel and began to climb. His mother called after him, but Jack was determined to discover where the beanstalk led. As he climbed higher, the world below grew smaller. The soft clouds wrapped around him, and a cool breeze carried the scent of adventure. Jack's heart raced as he reached the top, wondering what wonders awaited him. As Jack climbed higher and higher, the soft, misty clouds began to part, revealing something extraordinary. In the distance, a magnificent castle emerged, its golden spires glinting in the sunlight. The castle appeared to float among the clouds, shimmering as if made of magic. Jack paused for a moment, gripping the sturdy vine of the beanstalk, his heart pounding with excitement and awe. "I've never seen anything like this," he whispered to himself. The closer he climbed, the more detailed the castle became. Its grand arched doorways and glistening walls sparkled like jewels. Despite the breathtaking view, Jack felt a tinge of nervousness. Who or what could live in such a place? With determination, he continued his climb, ready to uncover the mysteries that awaited him at the top. Jack stepped cautiously into the castle, his heart racing with both wonder and fear. The inside was grand yet rustic, with towering wooden beams and polished wooden walls that seemed to glow faintly in the dim light. The air was thick and still, broken only by the sound of deep, rumbling snores. As Jack crept further into the hall, his eyes were drawn to a large wooden chest resting on the floor. Its lid was slightly open, revealing golden coins that sparkled even in the soft light. Beside it, a magical harp with glowing strings stood silently, and a plump hen with shimmering feathers perched nearby, clucking faintly. But Jack's attention stayed fixed on the chest. "This treasure could change everything for my mother and me," he thought. His heart raced as he took a step closer. Suddenly, he froze. Just a few feet away, sprawled across the wooden floor, was the giant. The massive figure snored loudly, his fiery red hair and bushy beard spilling across his chest. The giant's chest rose and fell with each thunderous breath, and the sound made the wooden beams above creak. Jack held his breath, terrified of waking the enormous figure. He tiptoed closer to the chest, his hands trembling as he reached for the treasure. Ignoring the harp and the hen, he carefully lifted the lid further, ensuring it didn't creak too loudly. The coins inside glimmered, and Jack's determination grew. Gripping the chest tightly, Jack turned and began to tiptoe back toward the door, each step slow and deliberate. His heart pounded in his chest as the snores of the giant rumbled behind him, and all he could think about was getting out of the castle without being caught. Jack's steps were light as he carried the chest of gold, but the weight of the treasure slowed him down. Just as he reached the castle door, the room trembled. A low, guttural groan filled the air, followed by a loud snort. Jack froze in place, his heart pounding as he turned to see the giant stirring. The giant's massive eyes blinked open, and his fierce gaze landed directly on Jack. His thunderous voice roared through the hall, "Fee, fi, fo, fum! I smell the blood of an Englishman." Jack's breath caught in his throat as the giant rose to his feet, towering over the room with a menacing presence. He grabbed a massive wooden club and took a thunderous step toward Jack. Clutching the chest tightly, Jack bolted out of the castle. The ground beneath him shook as the giant thundered after him. Jack raced toward the beanstalk, his mind racing with fear and determination. The golden treasure jingled with every step, but he didn't dare look back. He could hear the giant's furious roars and the pounding of his heavy steps close behind. With every ounce of strength, Jack leapt onto the beanstalk and began climbing down as fast as he could. The giant's massive hands grabbed the vines, and Jack's heart raced. He knew he had to reach the ground before the giant caught up. Jack's feet hit the ground with a thud. the chest of gold still clutched tightly in his arms. He glanced up to see the giant halfway down the beanstalk, roaring in fury as the massive vines groaned under his weight. Without hesitation, Jack ran to grab the axe leaning against the cottage. His hands trembled, but his determination was unwavering. "I have to stop him," he said to himself. Gripping the axe tightly, he swung with all his might at the base of the beanstalk. The thick vines creaked and splintered as Jack hacked away. The giant, now realizing what was happening, shouted down, "Stop, boy!" But Jack didn't stop. He swung the axe harder and faster, the sound of his strikes echoing through the countryside. With one final, powerful swing, the beanstalk gave a loud crack and began to fall. Jack stumbled back as the giant let out a thunderous yell. The massive figure plummeted to the ground with a deafening crash, disappearing in a cloud of dust. Jack dropped the axe and fell to his knees, panting and covered in sweat. The beanstalk was gone, and the giant would never trouble them again. With the chest of gold safe in their hands, Jack and his mother's lives were forever changed. They used the treasure to build a beautiful new house with strong stone walls and a bright red roof. The once overgrown garden was transformed into a lush paradise filled with colorful flowers and fruit trees. Jack, now dressed in fine clothes, stood proudly beside his mother, who wore an elegant gown. Their smiles radiated joy and relief as they looked out over their peaceful countryside home. The golden coins from the chest provided everything they needed. No longer would they worry about food or shelter. Jack had proven that courage, quick thinking, and a little bit of curiosity could lead to extraordinary adventures. As they stood together outside their new home, Jack's mother placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "You've made me so proud, Jack. Our lives are better because of you." Jack beamed and replied, "We'll never forget where we came from, Mother, but now we have a brighter future." And so, Jack and his mother lived happily ever after, their days filled with peace, prosperity, and gratitude for the adventures that brought them there.
In a little house by the hill so green lived Jack and his mother with a humble dream. A cow named Daisy, their only wealth, but Jack's heart was bold, his spirit stealth. Oh, Jack, so brave, you climbed so high, through the clouds reaching the sky. With courage and hope, you faced the test and brought back treasure, your very best. The beanstalk grew in the morning light, a path to wonders, a thrilling sight. In the giant's castle, treasures gleamed. Jack's daring heart chased what he dreamed. Oh, Jack, so brave, you climbed so high, through the clouds reaching the sky. With courage and hope, you faced the test and brought back treasure, your very best. The beanstalk grew in the morning light, a path to wonders, a thrilling sight. In the giant's castle, treasures gleamed. Jack's daring heart chased what he dreamed. With an axe in hand, you made a stand to save your home and protect the land. The giant fell, the danger passed. Jack and his mother found peace at last. Now the house is bright, the garden's in bloom. Laughter fills every cozy room, with gold to share and love to grow. Jack and his mother let their happiness show. Oh, Jack, so brave, you climbed so high, through the clouds reaching the sky. With courage and hope you faced the test, and brought back treasure, your very best. So close your eyes, let dreams take flight. Remember Jack's courage under the starlit night. A tale of love, of hope and cheer. Good night, little one, the world holds no fear. With an axe in hand, you made a stand to save your home and protect the land. The giant fell, the danger passed. Jack and his mother found peace at last. Now the house is bright, the garden's in bloom. Laughter fills every cozy room, with gold to share and love to grow. Jack and his mother let their happiness show. Fondle your eyes, let dreams take flight. Remember Jack's courage under the starlit night. A tale of love, of hope and cheer. Good night, little one, the world holds no